Hey, what's up, guys? Cheers. It's our anniversary. I have my happy anniversary wine glass, and this is my husband, Charlie. You probably have seen him in previous videos or posts. And let me tell you why we're doing a Facebook Live on our anniversary before we get started. As people log in here, we were sitting at dinner having wine and tacos. And I said, you need to take a picture of me having my wine and tacos. He took a picture. I gave him some constructive feedback. And he took a new picture. And I said, this is a good photo op. I hope this is okay. And he said, well, I would post on social media more before you, but you don't like it if I do. And I said, well, that's different. Then I want you to pay attention to me. But today, sweetie, it's our anniversary. And so here we are exploiting our 10-year anniversary for marketing points with our top 10 business tips based on our relationship. So I hope you guys are having an awesome evening. Shall we get started?
Yes.
We are going to go in chronological order on our top 10 tips here. Now, if someone is, eager, I think many of our students can be eager. Somebody can take notes as we go along on the different tips in the comments. I'm sure that would be helpful to people who are joining in live. And also, just on a side note, we're going to go through our top 10 tips. If there's anything that you all want to ask us, either myself or Charlie, fair game today.
Sure.
I think. All right. So number one business tip, if they say that they don't want to buy, they definitely want to buy. So when I first met Charlie, I don't know if this is a G rated.
That's up to you and your audience.
And my wine?
Your wine, yeah, sure.
So this is a maybe PG, parental guidance suggested. So this is when I first met Charlie, I had just gotten out of, we'll definitely use air quotes for a relationship, kind of a disaster. And I met Charlie and I started executing the 4-man plan, which I've talked about in previous episodes, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time today. And when I went on my first date with Charlie, my intention was that he was a rebound SKNK. SKA.
How many glasses is that?
One only, but I don't drink.
When is your anniversary? Because before you said it was August 2016. So this is the tangent.
August 16th, 2008 was when we got married.
Okay, sorry, continue with the story.
So Charlie was supposed to be my rebound, and so I told him on the first date that I did not want a boyfriend. I was not looking for a boyfriend. I was not looking for a relationship. Let me explain the 4-man plan. And I did not want a relationship. And we met, our first date was August 8th of the previous year. We weren't married in 8 days. So 1 year and 8 days later, we were married. And so the thing is it wasn't that I didn't want a boyfriend or that I didn't want a relationship. It is that I had been so deeply wounded and scarred from my previous relationship that I didn't want a boyfriend with the wrong person. And the truth is I did want a boyfriend, but I just didn't want to rush into something and then have regrets. And so if someone says to you, they don't want to buy, they definitely do want to buy. So be cool and keep asking them out. I mean, if you just keep asking someone out long enough, you end up marrying them and celebrating your 10th anniversary on Facebook Live.
And to be honest, I don't remember her saying, I don't want a boyfriend or I don't want a relationship right now. So I guess to my benefit, I didn't remember that. So
well, I mean, you don't want to hear objections and really take them to heart, right?
Yeah.
All right. So that's tip number one. If they say they don't want to buy, they definitely want to buy.
Okay, as a side note, I don't Facebook Live often, and I want to wave to the comments. so that's where we're at today. All right, so But that's number 2?
We might be here for a while, guys. Grab a glass of wine. We're on tip 5 minutes, tip number 1.
That's our number 2?
Yeah, that's number 2.
All right. Rankings increase motivation, perseverance, 4-minute plan against French fries, and...
Oh my gosh, you're not supposed to just read the notes. Are you doing this just for the show?
No, I swear. Okay, rankings increase motivation, perseverance. Okay, so...
That's the tip, yeah.
So as Tasha mentioned, perseverance, I kept calling her, as awkward as we both were, because as she mentions our first date, she doesn't mention the other part of our first date where we met for dinner, but she ate lunch at like 4:00 and we show up at dinner. She's like, I'm not hungry.
Well, I mean, why? This isn't relevant to the tip.
So anyway, so I kept calling her. I remember I called her like after the first date, like a couple days later, and I just called, and I didn't ask her for a second date at that time. I just called to talk, and it was super awkward, but I kind of didn't care. And then I called her a couple days after that, and then did ask her for a second date. And then eventually, I worked my way up the ranks of the 4-man plan. At some point, she did. I was on the road for work, and I called her while I was on the road, and she's like, "Oh," I was like, "Hey, what's up? What are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, I'm just getting back from a Dodger game, or I'm going to a Dodger game with somebody." And I guess it was a date, but I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Who's playing?" And I just didn't care. And I was just like, "Oh, whatever. That sounds great. Super. I hate baseball, but cool." So I kept going, and then there was
the French fries.
The French fries. So actually, it's funny is that I told Kristen this story earlier today, but we were going out to dinner with her dad, and I was driving. He lets me drive his fancy whatever car it was at the time, and I'm sitting next to my mother-in-law, and in the back is her dad and Tasha and her dad, and they're talking, and he's like, he's in this lovey-dovey mood because he had a drink before we left the house, and he's like, "I love you," right after my car and work. And she's like, "What? I'm after work." And I was like, "Hey, don't get all self-righteous. You put me third after your car," or her BMW at the time, and French fries. And I don't remember the order of those two. French fries was number 1.
French fries was number 1. The BMW was number 2.
Yeah. So she's like, "Oh, I'm just like my father."
I did not remember that story. I do remember the rankings. French fries. So there was a 4-man plan, and as soon as Charlie went to number 1 of the men, which I guess is still debatable if it was a boy ranking or a men ranking, but yeah. Okay, so he went to the top of the 4-man plan. Then he moved over into a separate ranking, which ranked French fries, my BMW, and Charlie. I did end up selling the BMW to get a minivan.
Yeah, but that just means you love your kids more than me. Or your car, I mean.
That's true. We haven't actually redone the rankings.
No. Let's not do that again.
Okay, so tip number 3. Tip number 3, product knowledge can be romantic. So I'll tell you about the first time I almost said I love you to Charlie. Almost. We were cooking dinner. We've been dating for maybe 2 months. And we were cooking dinner, and I was cutting. And I just gasped, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I don't know how anyone can say they only need 1 knife for everything. It's just absurd." All I did was make probably tacos, actually, now that I think about it.
No, I think it was burgers.
Burgers.
Because I was outside.
Okay, well, whatever it was that I made, I said, I've used 4 knives just for this one meal. I don't understand how people can say they only need 1 knife for everything. And he doesn't look at the knives. He looked at the food I cut. I know, I think it might have been tacos. Whatever.
It might have been.
And so he looked at the food I cut, and he said, "Oh yeah, slicer, French chef, trimmer, and petit carver."
And if you're not aware, I had at one point shown Cutco to people.
Which is not the same as selling, which is a different conversation. We'll talk about that later. Tricked me a little bit there. I thought I was marrying a legitimate Cutco sales rep. Got a little bamboozled, but that's okay. Resumes do work. And so he
Yes,
looked.
4 knives.
So he looked.
Wait,
I need you guys to understand this. He looked at the food I cut and knew which knives I used. And I gasped and I was like, and I almost said, I love you.
She did give me a look like, that you see in the movies.
I was so enamored by that bit of product knowledge. So product knowledge can be romantic. That's tip number 3. Tip number 4, mine too. Okay. If your customer is asleep when they say they want to buy something, it doesn't count, and swearing at them later is okay.
And laughing at the other person is also okay.
So as we continue dating, we're hanging out at my house. It was like, I don't know, a god-awful hour, 9:30, which really that hasn't changed anything in our relationship. And he had dozed off while we were watching TV. Yeah. So he dozed off while we were watching TV. At some point, he says, I think I went to go wake him up, tell him to go home. And he says, I love you. And I said, thank you. Or nothing, or something. But I definitely didn't say, I love you back. So I definitely didn't say, I love you back. No. And then he leaves, and I'm having a straight up panic attack. So I went and get my roommate. I'm like, oh my gosh, he just said I love you, and he just said I love you. He just said I love you. This is not, what are we going to do? We've only been dating maybe 2 or 3 months at this point. Maybe not even 3, right? Because 3 months would have been almost Thanksgiving, and that was a different, right. Oh boy. So it might have been 2 months, and he was already at I love you, and I was panicking. So obviously I didn't sleep at all. I went to work the next day, and this is right when I had a Nokia phone, and I thought, I was super stressed out. He had lost his job a few weeks before that, and so he had 5 interviews that day, and I thought, oh my gosh, I probably just devastated this guy. And I do love him, but that's a big commitment, because remember, he was supposed to be my rebound SKANK. And so I just messaged him because I didn't want him to be distracted by this point all day during his 5 interviews. And so I just text him, I love you too, to which he responds.
Did you mean that for someone else?
Now, over text, this sounds like, holy crap, he is pissed. And I said, no, I mean that to you. Oh my gosh. And we ended up having a conversation, and I just said, do you not remember telling me you loved me last night? This is before 5 interviews. He says, no. So then I go downstairs to the parking lot, and I cuss him out.
Were you at work at that time?
Oh yeah, I was already at work. I was already at work, but I was a professional. And so if you're going to cuss out your boyfriend, you definitely go downstairs outside and you do that. I mean, it's not appropriate in the workplace.
No, probably not.
All right.
But then I was just laughing.
He was just laughing.
She was swearing at me.
All right, so we're going to fast forward several years, it looks like, here. All right, number 5. That's mine too. Then you're going to go for a long time.
Okay.
Drink up. All right, number 5. Having a support staff means you have happy leaders, and have a support staff at all costs. So this is going to be something that many of you are going to hate us for. My mom has watched the kids overnight almost every single week the entire time we've been married. And my mom is so awesome. Actually, I was still all stitched up after my C-section with Zoe, and she forced us to go to the movies just after a couple of weeks. And so I pumped a couple bottles and left them because she said that it's just really, really important that you guys spend time together. And from then on, she always took the kids. Now, I know there's ulterior motives, right? I mean, she loves them. But we were talking on Sunday that we are pretty sure that how awesome our marriage is today, which is so obvious by this comedy routine, we owe a lot of that to our mom for, insisting. I don't think either one of us would have carved out that much time. I definitely know you would not have planned that much time for us. So thanks, Mom. Support staff equals happy leaders. Make sure you get a VA as soon as possible.
Okay, number 6, make sure your questions are relevant or your prospect will get annoyed. So Tasha tells me, oh, I talked to so-and-so today and they are going to do XYZ. And I'm like, oh, and I have all kinds of questions. But they are not questions that I think they're normal, but Tasha does not think they're normal because they don't seem relevant to the question or to the conversation. Like, so-and-so is going to start a new job. Oh, where are they working? Where is it? What time do they start? What
Oh my God.
What position do they have? I don't know. Wouldn't ask what they
Could they get benefits?
Like, they get benefits? Like, is it a PPO or is it an HMO? What company is it for?
Oh my God.
Like, that's my thought process. Like, I want to know all these little minute, mundane details that are not relevant to whether or not this person chose the right job or not. It's all the other auxiliary things that So make sure your questions are relevant or your prospect will get annoyed. And she's in the middle of a story and I'm asking these questions and she's like, what the fuck? Just let me tell the story. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, when people say ask questions, not all questions are created equal. You can actually suck at asking questions. And if you're not sure about that, I have an exhibit right here.
Yeah.
To frustrate. So not all questions will make your person feel comfortable and safe. Some of them will make them want to poke their eyes out with a pen. So that is important. So if you're not sure which question asker you are, I recommend the questions course.
Yes. Okay. So number 7, is that what we're on? All right. If the other person does it wrong, you will be doing it your entire life. All right.
Does it wrong?
Right. Sorry, quote. Does it wrong. We're not. Yeah. Let's keep this sophisticated, people. All right. So Tasha drinks a lot of water throughout the day, which is great because it's very healthy. However, she will, in a frenzy, some of you have seen her work, and then you've seen her leave to go, leave a call. Okay, bye, I have another call. And then she's walking out of the bathroom while you're ding-donging into Zoom. And
it's your fault, apparently, guys.
I'm just saying as an example. And then so she goes and she leaves her office to get something to eat. And then she thinks, oh, while her food is warming up or whatever she's doing, she's thinking, oh, I'm thirsty. I should get another glass of water. And so she looks where she's standing and looks for water and cannot find it. So she gets another glass. But then the other glass was actually on the counter just out of eye shot.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So then she grabs another glass and fills it up and then walks around and then just kind of basically, by the end of the day, she'll have 4 glasses of water all throughout the house. So that's obviously an issue. So to turn off electronics, that's for the kids.
Oh, we have to turn off electronics, guys. See you later. Don't get the last few tips. Just kidding. They're at my mom's supports to see tip number 5.
So I am the dishwasher and laundry person of the house because I'm anal retentive and I will fold them correctly, quote unquote. But then also, so then I collect I walk around the house and I'm like, because there's 5 glasses of water that I have to walk around. I walk around the entire house looking for all the glasses, collecting them. So the point being, I could have told her or left all the cups out, and then she eventually will run out of cups to fill up, and then she would realize, oh, I'm using too many glasses or something, or maybe she would just buy more cups.
I would probably just buy more cups. I mean, there's actually some research showing that if you want to live a healthier lifestyle, that you should put cups of water around the house.
Yeah, so But
it's more like the dishes.
Okay, so I had the choice to either collect all the water glasses and do the dishes, or to let her be cupless but I've chosen to do the dishes.
Yeah. Well, and the laundry's funny because sometimes I try to do the laundry, but then I get scolded for doing it wrong.
Or she tries to load the dishwasher, and then she hears me like reorganizing it, and she's like, "Those are dirty." I'm like, "I know." All right.
Yep. So, well, here's the business tip, right?
Oh.
Oh no, my mom's here. Sorry, Mom. Tip number 5 was about you. It
Kids,
was really,
scream
really
louder
nice.
so that she can't hear what's going on.
So
I've had 2 times.
Here's my mom's like, I took the kids and you're working? I mean, is this work?
I don't know. We had to make a list.
It wasn't really work.
Do we get to write this off?
Yeah. Do we get to write the wine off? I think, Mom, you're a CPA. If we're doing a Facebook Live about our anniversary while drinking wine, can we write the wine off? Please let me know. This is important.
Please let me know in the comments.
Yeah. But the laundry thing, he doesn't like the way I fold the things. And I guess apparently you have to rotate them. Like if I put his boxers just on top, that's not okay. You have to rotate them from the bottom.
So they all wear evenly.
So I get criticized every time I fold the laundry, which means I no longer fold the laundry. And so what this means for you as a leader is if you are so anal retentive that you care about if the boxers are folded this way or this way, you will be doing laundry for the rest of your DAMN life.
I think they can handle that word. Can they handle that?
I don't know if my kids are listening at this point.
Oh, kids, go to bed. Not you, the viewers, like our actual kids. All right, so I was going to say something else about that, but I forgot now. All right. All right, number 8. Sometimes you have to lay in the bed your team member made.
Yeah, if your team, that's the turtle one. If your team member screws up, sometimes you have to clean up the crap for 20 years.
All right. So Tasha got the kids a goldfish at one point. The first one lasted a pretty good long time. It was a beta fish. And then it died, and then we got another one, and then that one died, and then we were like, okay, cool. The kids agreed. All right, no more pets for a little while. So at this point, I worked Saturdays. All right, and I'm on my lunch break on a nice Saturday. I'm sitting outside, and I check my phone, and I'm on Facebook, and the very first picture I see is Tasha with the kids, and this. I think they also got ice cream. Mm-hmm. And then they both had these little tanks. They each had one. And I thought, oh, they got another fish. Okay. So I get home and I find out that they are these little turtles that are like this big or something like that. And some lady was selling them for like $30 outside of Target. And then, and I guess she was like, oh, yeah, you just got to put them in a little thing and put a rock in there.
She lied.
Right. So, so this is Saturday. So I get home, we got, blah. And then Sunday, I have to go, or she's like, hey, can you look up online or go to the pet store and find out what these turtles need? So I have to go to that area anyway, that shopping center, because I have to get a new phone because I broke mine because I'm klutzy. And then
there's no tip about that.
Right, except don't drop your phone or get an OtterBox. So I got a new phone, and then I go to the store, and I was like, hey, blah, 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 turtle, what's the smallest tank that she looks at me like, you need a 10-gallon tank. They grow to about this size, like a dinner plate size. They start off like this.
They were so cute.
And they go to like this size, and they live like 20 years. And then you need this, and you need this, and you need this, and you need this, and you need this. And it was like $200 later, and I was like, what the? And then
I told him I would take care of the tank.
Yeah. And then, so you can get all these little pieces, or you can get this kit that this one company sells where it has like the UV light, the heat lamp, the rock, the 10 or 20-gallon tank or whatever it is, and then like a bag of food or whatever, or a bag of rocks. whatever like that. And then the filters too. So so that's just the stuff. And then if I was like, well, okay. And then I was like, well, are you sure this is the right type of turtle you're talking about? Because it's this big, and she says it's going to get this big or whatever. I was like, you sure that's the right kind of turtle? Because this lady was selling him outside of Target per my wife. And she's like, yeah. So for one, the pet store lady tells me that it was illegal for that lady to sell them like that because it's not, a breeder or whatever, or it's not a licensed thing or whatever. Because she was selling them like the way Tasha described. She was selling them like Girl Scout cookies, like set out front of him in a table. But then as soon as she went in the store and then like left or came back, went in the store, paid, and then came out, the lady was gone because enough suckers bought her stupid turtles.
They were so cute, and to be fair, I was suffering from mom guilt.
Oh yeah, this is before Emerge.
And if your daughters are like 4 and 6, no, I think it was.
Yeah, it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, so
it was 2 years ago.
They, just looked at me and was like, "Mom, they're so cute," and I work full time. Yeah. So I don't understand how I was even capable of saying that.
So it's illegal for the lady to sell them like that. If I just let them go, that would be like animal endangerment or animal abandonment.
We'd get
on my part. So that would be breaking the law. The pet store lady told me a couple stories of like people that randomly like would just have the whatever their animal in the cart, and then like pretend to be like shopping in the store, and then just leave the cart and then leave. And I was like, oh, can I do that? So, and then as we're checking out, so Tasha's like, well, I can't disappoint the kids, and we're not going to throw the turtles down the trash or whatever. So I was like, all right. And then as we're checking out, the cashier is like, oh, be careful if you touch the turtle because baby turtles have salmonella. And I am a scientist and a germaphobe, so I'm like, ah!
I mean, scientist.
It was in my name at the time.
At the time.
I had to do some.
Keep your license.
I had to do some CEUs, by the way.
I'm not paying for those.
Oh, come on!
We cannot write.
It's a team.
Mom, can we write lab scientist CEUs off for Emerge sales training? Please.
Only people are checking out.
Yeah, it's really nerve-wracking doing Facebook Lives because then you see the live numbers go up and down counting? And you're like, oh my gosh, am I not funny anymore? And it's really like it messes with your head. It's very stressful doing Facebook Lives.
Anyway, so now I am the one who's in charge of the turtles. Yes, Dr. Janet, I am the one in charge of the turtles.
Turtle.
Oh, sorry, one of them.
Yeah, one of them died.
But I think one of the other ones. Yeah, the other. Well, also the other one was probably like stealing the other one's food.
Yeah.
So, so one of them died, but we have one now, and yeah, we have one now, and I have to clean the tank every month.
Yeah. So here's the thing about the turtles: is my knight in shining armor here now takes care of the turtles, and it totally sucks for him. And sometimes as a leader, if your team member screws up, you're going to have to clean the algae for a long time. And sometimes it's just kind of life.
You can have our turtles, Dr. Janet.
Yep. We'll mail them.
In FedEx in a box.
Yep. With dry ice. I don't think that's the right packaging.
Nope.
All right. Number 9.
Unless you're making turtle soup.
Yep. Number 9 is yours.
Get the order right. And if you get it wrong, for goodness sake, fix it. So get the order right. So
get the order right.
So it was maybe like within my first month of working with what's her name? Tasha?
Do you even know who you're talking to?
Working with Tasha and
I'm like a celebrity.
So it was a Friday afternoon, and she was doing some training with her team, and she asked me to go get lunch. I go to In-N-Out, and for some reason, like I have on my phone like her order for Subway, her order for In-N-Out, her order for like whatever she would order, Flame Broiler, whatever the restaurant is, or fast food joint that we go to. I have that written down on my phone. For some reason, I'm in the drive-thru and like I have cheeseburger, lettuce only, and then for some like the lady asked, or anything else on it or whatever. For some reason, I said sauce. Like add the Thousand Island sauce or the secret In-N-Out sauce to it. And then
Missy.
Yes, exactly. And then yes. And so I get home and I deliver her food. And then she's in this meeting. And then I go run upstairs, scurry up to my office, and I hear this.
I lost my Shay, and I'm using that because in case there are any kids.
Hey, you did that with half a thing of wine. That's pretty amazing. But
you
couldn't spell SKANK. So.
Well, and I had been role playing the webinar for 2 straight hours with builders. Exactly.
So then I was like,
I mean, Missy and Karen, I just love you so much. Role playing practice is so
sorry.
good.
I was like, oh, sauce. Because for some reason, like I remember one of the last times we went to get In-N-Out, and your brother.
My brother wanted sauce?
No,
he would never have sauce. No Saran would have sauce.
And he ordered something, and you were like, oh, this is wrong. And for some reason, I was like, oh.
There's no ketchup ever. Ketchup is disgusting unless it's in like with other ingredients that makes it barbecue sauce, and then it's amazing. The ketchup is horrible, and sauce, just most sauces are not okay. And if you've been married for 9.5 years and been dating, you live in Southern California, you've probably been in and out like 500 times or 1,000 times or like 1,000,000 times. And
that escalated quickly.
Well, exactly. Like that's what happened. That's how dramatic this incident is. Like you do not mess out an In-N-Out burger. Like, so my normal order was a double with lettuce only, and that's what's on his phone. And I said, just get me a cheeseburger instead. And apparently that was a very complicated order. So I had been role playing for 2 hours with builders on the webinar, and he comes in with a burger I can't eat. And I could not even deal with life at that point. Could not even deal with it. I don't even know, Missy. Like, did I have to leave? Like, I feel like there's fire coming out of my everything, and I couldn't even eat it. It was horrible. I mean, I'm still kind of pissed about it.
Yeah, I just took off the scab or the Band-Aid again.
Yeah, I mean, I just like. If you've been together for 10.5 years, you should be over to get the other person a mother effing hamburger.
Wow. Associated with that is I ask her every time we go somewhere where there's fries involved, I ask her if she wants ketchup.
Still, he asked me if I want ketchup. Guys, I do not, under no circumstances do I want ketchup. And nor does my brother, because he was raised properly.
No, because your brother does.
My little brother had a great role model in food, and so just ketchup, not okay. All right, so number 9. Are we on number 10?
Number 10. That was
number 10.
All
right.
Was number 9.
So we're gonna go to tip number 10, and it's not just a hamburger, Janet. Just go and hang out with Karen already. Go eat your kale. I'm not your favorite. Ketchup is not the best. As Janet's analyzing my strength profile, you cannot, after all these years.
Thank you, Kasha. Thank you.
After all these years, you cannot just start adding sauce to things. If you start off when you're like 3 years old wgod sauce, when you're 37, you have to make sure that there's still no sauce. Oh my God! Ketchup is the worst.
Wait, now is it Catsup or ketchup?
I think it depends on your geographic location.
Look, Linda says it Catsup, but Kasha says ketchup.
And why are we even talking about this? And it's not a hamburger, just a hamburger. It's a cheeseburger, first of all. And then second, it's from In-N-Out, and also cheeseburgers are amazing. So, okay, so we're going to go to tip number 10 right now. And, oh, gross. This is just getting worse in the comments. Okay, so if you guys have any questions for us about anything, maybe we will answer them. But there's a little bit of a lag, so I'm going to tell you that. If you have any questions for us, post it. We are 2 drinks in, so you will get the truth, most likely.
Yes.
All right. Tip number 10. If you repeat your vision enough times, everyone will believe it. So in my recruiting course, I teach about vision, and I say, if your team cannot mock you, you have not stated your vision long enough. And so if you state your vision, my vision for my life was to be happily married. And so watch this. Charlie, are you happily married?
Yes.
Exactly. And how do you know you're happily married?
Because you told me to.
Because I tell him every day that he is happily married. And now, do you believe you're happily married?
Yes.
Perfect. Do you guys believe we're happily married? Probably yes. If you repeat your vision enough times, everyone will believe that it's true. All right.
Okay.
I don't know where the mic is.
The mic doesn't explode.
It doesn't? It doesn't?
I hope it doesn't.
I always...
Yeah, but it's just...
But the mic is still in my bag from the last time I took it somewhere to drop it. Where did I take it? Why was I traveling with my mic? Texas?
You were probably talking somewhere.
Yeah, I was probably speaking in Texas. Maybe I took it to Jessica's. And I took it to drop it at the end of my thing. But now I don't have it. I just have this other mic here.
Oh, because the kids were playing.
And then I can't really drop it. It's very heavy. And it doesn't even work. It's just here for show.
It doesn't work. How do you do your talking?
Yeah, it just sits here like this. And I just talk and use the computer.
What, have you plugged it in?
It's broken. Have I plugged it in? Yes, I plugged it in. Actually, I'm not sure if it's the cord that's broken or it's the actual mic that's broken, but I'm pretty sure it's the mic that's broken because it used to work and then it stopped working. Do you see how that might be explained that the mic is broken?
No, you don't have to. No.
Do you have any additional questions for me?
No.
All right.
Where'd you get the mic?
Where did I get the mic?
Did you?
I got it on Amazon.
It was on sale?
No.
Who's the retailer?
How is that even relevant?
What's the return policy?
Oh my god! All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. We hope this was educational. We are on brand, as you guys can see. Stay on brand. Suck it up. No, you're such a wuss. Come on. Stay on brand. Stay on brand.
I'll just put this over my face.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary. Oh, wait. I should make you a balloon animal.
Nothing says 10 years like balloon animals.
Yep. I think we'll just...
You have to write...
Tell them about how awesome it is to work together.
You're 3 glasses in. What was number 10? If you repeat your vision enough times, everyone will believe it. But only when it comes to good things. The wind beneath her wings, yes. But I'm also lucky because I'm here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be at work now, but I'd be
You
asleep.
would be living with your parents, so.
Easy. Can't do that.
Oh my gosh. Why is my hand-eye coordination suffering on my balloon animals?
I don't know. Ask your boss of why. What is your favorite thing about the other person?
Like, legit or funny?
Happy anniversary. Thank you, everyone, for the happy, I keep wanting to say birthday.
It's not my birthday. That was last time. Can we switch the sale to happy anniversary instead of happy birthday? Because 10% off is way more profitable than 20% off. I mean, 38% off.
Sure.
My favorite thing about the other person, look, I made you a heart. It's a heart. I appreciate legit. Okay. Oh wow. All right. I got. Hold on. Off brand. Got to get off brand. My favorite thing about Charlie is his pursuit of personal development and professional development, which is why he married me, so that I could help him to get better for the rest of his life. No, on a serious note, my favorite thing about Charlie is his lack of ego. I think a lot of husbands get really defensive about stuff, and they get like they're not really secure in who they are and who they aren't. And that is my favorite thing about you this whole time, is you're very clear about who you are and who you aren't. And I think that helps. To answer questions in the chat, Eddie, get with it. I sold Cutco in college. I feel like you should know this already.
He's joking.
Oh.
That's probably a joke. Eddie jokes a lot. Have you met Eddie?
My balloon animal talents recently came about when I had children, and I wanted to make sure they liked me. All right, what?
My favorite thing would be that she does. Sorry.
What were you about to say? Holy crap! My mom might be on here.
Wait, I just didn't want. Yeah, she works hard and to go like she understands and she is able to use her work talents to help manage her 3 children. Me being the other child. So, yeah. So not being. I don't know. I don't know how I'm saying, if I'm saying that clearly. I'm probably not, but yeah. The fact that she can.
This is off-brand. It's hard.
I don't understand how to say these words with alcohol in my head.
Just tell the truth with alcohol. That's what I do.
Oh, yeah, it's the truth. I just can't say it with.
All right, you guys want to see some of the most amazing thing in the world?
No, that's right. That was dangerous with this sharp, pointy thing in my hand. This.
It's the funniest thing ever. He's so ticklish. All right, you guys have a good night. All right, that's it.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.